I suspect there will be a lot of questions, so we'd like to limit everybody to one each, please. The FBI is leading this investigation, so there's a lot of information that we simply cannot share today. Now let me introduce Alaska Airlines CEO and Chairman Brad Tilden and Horizon Air CEO and President Gary Beck. Brad serves as Chairman and CEO of Alaska Air Group, the parent company of Alaska Airlines and Horizon Air. He is a 27-year veteran of Alaska Airlines. Gary is President and CEO of Horizon Air. He joined the airline in January of this year and previously served as Vice President of Operations at Alaska Airlines for about 6 years. With that, I'll turn it over to Brad.
Thank you, Bobby, and good morning, everyone. All of us at Alaska and Horizon are deeply saddened by last night's unauthorized flight with the Horizon Q400 aircraft that resulted in the loss of life for the individual involved. All 23,000 of us want to express our sincere sympathy to his family, his loved ones, and his coworkers. We're working closely with the authorities to help answer the many open questions that they have, and this cooperation started last night. Our top priority is the safety of our guests and our employees. Simply put, there is nothing more important to us. We're working closely with the FBI, the NTSB, and the FAA to better understand the circumstances behind this incident. We've been told, as Bobby said, that the FBI is the lead agency investigating this. Safety is our #1 goal. There's nothing more important to us. Last night's event is going to push us to learn what we can from this tragedy so that we can ensure this does not happen again at Alaska Air Group or at any other airline. Before I turn this over to Gary, I want to acknowledge and express my deep gratitude to the FAA air traffic controllers, to the Washington and Oregon Air National Guards, and to the first responders from Pierce County. They had a very strong and professional response to this incident. So with us here today, we have, as Bobby said, we have Horizon Air CEO Gary Beck. We also have Jay Tabb, who is leading the investigation for the FBI, and we have Mike Ale, who's the Director of Operations for SeaTac Airport. These folks are going to speak for a couple of minutes, and then we'll be available to answer your questions.
Thanks, Brad. At 7:32 p.m. local time, a Horizon Air ground service agent departed in a Horizon Air Q400 without clearance from SeaTac International Airport. The plane was taken from a maintenance position and was not scheduled for passenger flight. The aircraft crashed about an hour later in a wooded area on Catron Island in rural Pierce County. No ground structures were involved at the crash site. Military jets were scrambled from Portland, but it does not appear the jets were involved in the crash of the Horizon aircraft. And I really want to emphasize that we appreciate the military's professionalism. We're working closely with the authorities and our own safety teams to thoroughly understand this incident. And now I'll turn it over to Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Beck, and good morning. The Port of Seattle and SeaTac International Airport want to ensure that you know that we're working fully with our partners at the NTSB, the FAA, the TSA, and certainly our strong partners at Horizon and Alaska Air. Immediately upon learning of the incident, we worked with our FAA partners to institute a ground stop that prevented any departures from leaving SeaTac until the situation was stabilized. To clear the airspace, arrivals continued and ended at 20:40 or 8:40 p.m. local time last night when normal operations resumed. During the time of the incident, approximately 75 flights were delayed, 9 flights were diverted to other airports, 5 flights were canceled. We estimate that approximately 19 flights incurred delays over 2 hours, and we apologize to our passengers and patrons of SeaTac Airport None exceeded the 3-hour tarmac rule as instituted by federal regulation. Operations were fully back to normal by 1 a.m. this morning. And moving forward, we'll certainly continue to work very closely with our stakeholders as well as law enforcement. And I'd now like to introduce Mr. Tabb from the FBI.
Mike, thank you. Good morning. My name is Jay Tabb. I'm the Special Agent in charge for the FBI in the state of Washington. First, an expression of condolences and empathy for Alaska and Horizon Airlines and in this loss. And I also want to talk a little bit to the King County and Pierce County residents who I'm sure had a scare last night. I want everybody to know that we are diligently investigating this matter. We will get to the bottom of it. We're doing so with a long list of partners right now, including Pierce County Police Department, Pierce County Fire Department, the NTSB, of course, and some fire rescue folks from the Joint Base Lewis-McChord who are assisting us out there right now. I have dozens of personnel out at the crash site right now. I had 30 to 40 folks involved overnight out interviewing coworkers and family members. And I just want everybody to understand this is going to take a little bit of time. So please be patient with the FBI. We're not prepared today to discuss a lot of details regarding this incident, just because it is so nascent. So with that, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Q&A.
We'll now take some questions. Operator, could you please open the call? And I want to apologize to everybody who is calling in. I know that we are having a few technical difficulties, so speakers may have to repeat yourself. We apologize for that. Let's take our first question in the room. Alan.
Mr. Tabb, can I ask you what you can tell us? I understand that it's early about the mental state of this man.
It's way too early to comment on that. I'm sorry.
Talk about, was he alone? How did he get access to this phone?
I think at this time we believe he was the only one in the aircraft, but of course we haven't confirmed that at the crash site. If that's your question, and then in terms of the access, that'll have best be answered by somebody else.
The name that's been circulating on social media is Richard Russell. Can you confirm that that is accurate? And can you tell us if this guy's had a history, if he's an employee of the airline, if he has any sort of history of problems?
Well, we do realize that there is some information flowing out there. We are not confirming the identity of the individual involved at this time. It was a 3.5-year employee of Horizon Air. It was a ground service agent for Horizon Air. To answer the question that you asked, he was a background check. There was a couple of different criminal background checks we run on our employees. He had a CETA badge with the Port of Seattle, so that's another. He worked his shift yesterday. We believe he was in uniform. His job is to be around airplanes. He is tow certified, so he's meant to be on the secure. Airports have a non-secure side and a secure side. He's meant to be on the secure side. That's part of the fulfillment of his job responsibilities. This airplane was at Cargo 1. It's on a spot on the north part of the airport. The airplane was not going to be used further last night, and he did go up to there without sort of a purpose other than what he did do.
Did this employee have any flight experience?
We don't know.
Did he take off from the taxiway or the runway?
We don't have that information.
In the back box.
Is there any information on, I'm sorry, I actually wasn't ready.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Brad, can you repeat the question?
Yes, I will.
In the area where he was, would there have been any needed additional security for him to commandeer an airplane?
No, the security, and this is something Mike Ale might speak to, but the security regime at SeaTac Airport, there's certain spaces, and he was authorized to be in the area that he was. Mike, do you want to talk about the way you're set up?
Certainly. Now, the question, I believe, is whether there was an additional layer of security that was required. And no, the individual that Mr. Tilden spoke of was fully credentialed. He had access to that area legitimately. It is inside the security fence, and so no security violations were committed.
We're going to take a couple of questions from the call operator. Having some difficulty. We'll ask those on the phone to email those in. Yes,
This guy sounded fully certified and belonging there. You mentioned possibly making changes. What, if anything, can be done to prevent something like this from happening again?
You know, it's very, very early. This incident happened last night. So we are, right now, we're dealing with the response to the incident. We're looking at this. It's natural to ask yourself what procedures are there, and what I've told you is the case. He's credentialed. He was part of his job responsibility. He was around airplanes, working around airplanes. But in terms of improvements that we might make as a company and as an industry to make this, honestly, to make this very safe industry even safer in the future, it's too early to say. Alaska, we pride ourselves in being a leader in safety, and we will be a leader on this issue, so we will be looking at it, but we're less than 24 hours after the incident. It's far too early to say what additional procedures we might implement.
Sir, what sort of mental health resources are available to your employees, and can you tell us whether this employee used any of them?
Yeah, I can take that. Thank you. We have an employee assistance program that's available to all our employees to deal with mental health issues that might arise. It's available 24/7, 365 days a year.